Hey everyone, welcome back to another amazing session. We have Adrisha here. Adrisha, take over.
Hey guys, I'm Adrisha from GDG On Campus, IIIT Kalyani, and welcome to Full Stack 101. Today we have with us Praveen Kumar. He is a really experienced full stack developer with industry experience, and he likes to say that he's from a tier 27 engineering college. Prove that your college tier does not define your career success. He landed his first UK internship without a CV and purely through networking and skill visibility, and today works with a global product teams. A Microsoft MVP and Guinness World Record holder, Praveen focuses on helping students understand the real industry and build careers beyond placements. Thank you so much for joining us today. So maybe we can begin with our session.
So great, amazing intro. Thank you so much, Adrisha. That was really nice. And hey everyone, my name is Praveen. I'm originally from Chennai, India, currently living and working in London as a director of engineering. Well, this is a very boring intro, right? So the way I introduce to people is my wife is JavaScript, my girlfriend is React.js. I'm a full stack developer and a director of engineering at a Fortune 50 company in London. So that's me. And today we are doing a lot of cool things with respect to what we are learning from front end, full stack, etc. So obviously it's going to be a full stack development, right? So it's an introductory session designed to help students understand the modern full stack web development beyond frameworks and buzzwords. We are not going to talk about so many buzzwords and stuff like that. So I'm just going to quickly tell what we are going to cover today. So first thing is what actually full stack really means, and from browser to database, the end-to-end flow, and then modern full stack architecture, what exactly people are using these days, tools, patterns, and scaling mindset. Why do we need performance these times? So, and then finally learning full stack the right way. And while closing, we can have a quick real industry insights and some key takeaway for students, and also we can open for discussions and questions. So this is what I wanted to cover, and it's going to be very conversational. So we have Adrisha here. Adrisha is also a full stack developer. She's a budding full stack developer, I believe, right? Or
Yeah, I just good with the front end, still
Mhm.
learning. So,
Let's consider this like a podcast, and Adrisha, you have to be covering 60% of the talk today.
all right, I'll try my best.
Okay, so first, let me say, let's have a discussion today. Okay, so what exactly full stack really means in terms of you, for you? Like you just started with front end, yes, we know that, but what do you think full stack really means?
Full stack is something, front end is like what you see on your screen. So it's basically like a cover of your book.
Amazing.
And yeah, and back end and all the linking and everything is the content that is inside the book, or like how you what runs behind the
Behind the
screen.
scenes.
That is what full stack is. I'm curious what our participants think about it actually.
Exactly. We want to see what you think. Please put your whatever you think, put it in your comments. We are all looking for the comments. And by the way, did Adrisha say that we have goodies for this section? So those people who are answering first, not these things again, it's just games, but you'll be getting something really relevant to this session, and that would be really powerful for you as well. Feel free to answer your idea. Oh wow, Adrisha has got. Okay, Adrisha, you're the first person every time. Okay, so it's a mixture of front end, back end, and database. Amazing. That's true. That's nice. Anyone else? Okay, so from my perspective, what I would say is full stack is not a list of technologies. It's actually the ability to understand and reason about the entire system. So if that was the thing, what I say, we can say this way: there are like hundreds and thousands of tutorials on YouTube, and we can say that React plus Node is full stack, but it's actually an oversimplification pushed by all these tutorials. But if you see how the industry sees as full stack as, it is someone who understands the flow, the trade-offs, and also the boundaries. So for example, if you say, if you take a banking system or something like that, yes, exactly, I could see a lot of answers that says like, yeah, front end and plus back end and sometimes database. I think I should give a point for that particular person who says the database. So it is a theme. Okay, that's nice. So if you take a banking system, there are like so many components, there are so many flows that are there. So it's almost about the user experience as well. So how many of you agree with that point? So that's something that I wanted to tell in terms of what full stack is. And then what we have is, yes, we do have a couple of stacks as well. So the first thing will be the front end part, which is what you would be looking and feeling, the look and feel and everything. Then the application layer is the one which actually makes sure that you kind of like get all the input from the user, and that gets sanitized, and then you send it over to either database or other services and stuff like that. And the main thing is about full stack is about seeing the whole picture and not knowing everything as well. So coming to the next part about like how browser and database work together. So whenever you click on something, what happens? The end-to-end flow is what it is. How many of you are ready to watch a quick video on this? Okay, so there is one more amazing question as well. So we want to know what the relation between full stack and system design, how to choose the right stack. Okay, you tell me, like what do you think about system design? Adrisha, you start that. I'm sure that a lot of people in India have been going through the system design interview. This is very, very, very important in terms of like interviews, right? So whatever you feel, like go ahead.
The system design part, I'm not too sure about it, but if you're talking about choosing the right stack, it's about first choosing what you want to do, right? Depending
That's
on
true.
what you want to do, then you can choose the right stack,
Thanks
right?
for stealing my dialogue. But actually, that is true. No, when it comes to system design, it's not just like, okay, you have a controller, you have a model, you have a view or something like that, but it is the complete architecture. Let's say, let's take an example. It could start with student management system, or it could start with a banking and financial system where the real money is going on and stuff like that. If we just take the student management system, what maximum can you have? Student details, class details, and then the examination details, events in the sense what all the different exams that happen, timetables, subjects, etc. This would be the most maximum thought process between how you can make a student management system. Now, how does system design comes here? So you will be able to like clearly define what goes in where, the data flow. This all these things will be constituting the system design. And once you choose those things, coming to the tech stack part. So tech stack part is depending on a couple of things. What the project actually requires versus how much competence your team has. These are the two real things that people will be looking at. So what the project requires, for example, let's take a banking system. What all the things that we are very much, what are three important things? You tell me, Adrisha. What three important things that should be there in a bank account online web application?
Repeat the
So,
entire like bank account.
so if you are making a bank account, it's a bank account web application where you go and log into your bank account and you see what is the balance, you want to do a transfer, etc. What are the three main things that you would be considering? It's a question for everyone in the chat as well. So
Yeah, obviously, first the name of the account holder is important, and then the account number, and also the third thing might be,
you are
contact info.
thinking like a developer or a UI developer looking at the screen. No, no, no. What I was saying is for the system, for the whole system, the banking system. I would say the first thing will be security.
So, okay,
That
like
way.
I got it, I got it. I was thinking about on the screen what a person should see,
Okay,
but
we got a couple of answers, direct answers. So
some great
security
answers.
and authentication, and then encryption, etc. if we just take these three things alone, security, authentication, and encryption. If you take authentication, there are so many libraries that are available in Java, JavaScript, probably Python, but not many in Rust. We don't know if there is anything in Rust or Ruby on Rails. There could be many, but there are so many tested, tried platforms in Java, JavaScript, and Python. So this way, the stack is kind of like narrowed down to Java and JavaScript and Python. Now, if you look at your employees or the team is very much capable in terms of JavaScript. Okay, that is one side. And then there is also other people who are good with Python too. Now, coming to the industry side of things, yes, it's a huge bank. We have a lot of budget, etc. But there should be some kind of availability of servers. We can easily spin up one AWS server or something like that. And but what happens is, unfortunately, you won't be able to get the exact tools and requirements to be added here. So yes, absolutely, there are so many gems in Ruby as well. And I did my Ruby on Rails very long time, like 15 years ago. That's the reason I couldn't answer. And the other thing is, you do have this option of oh, 1 second. You do have this option of package managers and other things. Gems for Ruby. For Java, I don't understand what exactly the package manager is. We have Spring and other things. JavaScript, we have npm, bun. Yes, npm bun. There is one more, right? A lot of things are there. So there are like so many things, and people right now on chat are actually giving the right answers. Bcrypt is one of the greatest, amazing packages for encryption. JWT is a, I won't say it is great and all, but it is one way of JSON web tokens and other things. So Yarn is a great package manager as well. So there are like a couple of things. Thinking about all these things, which particular library has got the best output, outcome, etc. So we will be considering all these things to get the right one. So that's what I would say. So these are a couple of things that we will think about the stack side of things. So that is one of the things. And talking about system design and how it impacts the stack as well. So system design brings in a lot more features. For example, if you are taking the banking thing as an example, you don't just talk about the theoretical part or the programming part. You will also talk about how the users perceive it. For example, you are Adrisha, you are a customer. There is Anurag, another customer. Both the customers going at a same time, doing some transfers, etc. They sometimes it is very important to get a real-time update as well. What about notifications? So if someone is taking money from your account, you need to get notified as well. So these are a couple of things that are indeed required. So what would you do for quick notifications? There is something called as notification system, simple notification system from Amazon, and there are like so many other things as well. So these will be impacted with system design. So when you're doing the system design part, you'll come to know all these things as well. So this is one of the things that I would say. And apart from these things, let's start with what exactly I was talking about, from browser to database. So how many of you are ready to watch a video? I need to wait and get the video as well. Until then, Adrisha, cover for me.
Another question in the chat, which kind of got buried under text.
Yes, please.
Gautam Chandra Gharmi asked that we want to know the impact of AI on software engineering. How can we adapt to the current situation as a new developer?
Definitely, yes. It is killing us. And first thing is, AI will not replace jobs, but a person who is using AI to the best extent and the possible way will kill the jobs. So be ahead of others by using AI and in the right way possible. Again, I was taking this scenario, like there was this particular Google HQ, I did this talk, how to use the AI the best way. So that's one of the things. So AI cannot solve everything, but if you are able to use the AI for the right purpose, you would be able to do it well. And one moment, let me take this. I'm just trying to find that particular video that I was planning to show you, and I think I got it. So let me try getting the HD video for this. We've got the Warriors of Net. Yes, we do. And let me see if this has the right one. Your local area. Okay, cool. So we do have the right one. I will soon get it. Okay, so for implementing AI, we can actually have a small part of the AI, how to use AI and then deploy something really nice. So that could also come as a goodies for you, a small surprise present for you. How many of you want that part in today's session? We have like 1 hour session today. So maybe at the end for 10-15 minutes, we can have something on that. How many of you want that? Say we want the AI. We can actually, I can give you the answer. It is an AI portfolio. So just type in AI portfolio in the comment. Super, awesome, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna share my screen in a few seconds, and then hopefully I should be able to, you should be able to hear the sound as well. So just don't call me sir, just call me Praveen. Sir is a banned word. And let me see if everyone is able to see the screen. Yes, is everyone able to see the screen? I'm just going to open the chat. Okay, so I'm just going to play this and go on a mute.
It's visible. Sorry to interrupt, but the audio is not there in this video.
Are you not able to hear the audio?
No, I don't think the audio is being played in the video.
Okay, just wait. I'm able to hear the audio. Is everyone? Yeah, there is a music, right?
Okay,
Adrisha, what
then
happened?
I think it might be an error on my end, I think.
All right, no worries. We can just restart it real quick.
For the first time in history, people and machinery are working together, realizing a dream. A uniting force that knows no geographical boundaries without regard to race, creed, or color. A new era where communication truly brings people together. This is the dawn of the net. Want to know how it works? Click here to begin your journey into the net. Now, exactly what happened when you clicked on that link? You started a flow of information. This information travels down into your own personal mailroom, where Mr. IP packages it, labels it, and sends it on its way. Each packet is limited in its size. The mailroom must decide how to divide the information and how to package it. Now, the package needs a label containing important information, such as sender's address, receiver's address, and the type of packet it is. Because this particular packet is going out onto the internet, it also gets an address for the proxy server, which has a special function, as we'll see later. The packet is now launched onto your local area network, or LAN. This network is used to connect all the local computers, routers, printers, etc. for information exchange within the physical walls of the building. The LAN is a pretty uncontrolled place, and unfortunately, accidents can happen. The highway of the LAN is packed with all types of information. These are IP packets, Novell packets, Apple Talk packets. They're going against traffic, as usual. The local router reads the address and, if necessary, lifts the packet onto another network. The router, a symbol of control in a seemingly disorganized world.
Whoops, sorry about that. Let's go with this one here, this one here. This one goes here, this one goes here. I don't like this one. Let's go with this one, let's go here. A little bit left, let's go with this one here. Another channel here. Let's put that one here. Let's put that one here.
There he is, systematic, uncaring, methodical, conservative, and sometimes not quite up to speed.
Sorry.
But at least he is exact, for the most part.
That one was there, that one was there, that one was there, and this one was there. Well, another one was there, that was there. He's behind them, he was still there, he was there, he was there, one was there.
As the packets leave the router, they make their way into the corporate intranet and head for the router switch. A bit more efficient than the router switch plays fast and loose with IP packets, deftly routing them along their way. A digital pinball wizard, if you will.
Here we go, here comes another one, and it's another. Watch this, Mom. Here goes, whoop, around the back. Hey, in there, in there, over the left, over the right, over the left, over the right. You got it, here it comes, right out, he shoots, he scores, it's going. Hey, wait, here, watch out, here comes another one. Oh, here we go, and it's gone.
As packets arrive at their destination, they're picked up by the network interface, ready to be sent to the next level. In this case, the proxy. The proxy is used by many companies as sort of a middleman in order to lessen the load on their internet connection, and for security reasons as well. As you can see, the packets are all of various sizes, depending upon their content. The proxy opens the packet and looks for the web address, or URL. Depending upon whether the address is acceptable, the packet is sent on to the internet. There are, however, some addresses which do not meet with the approval of the proxy, that is to say, corporate or management guidelines. These are summarily dealt with. We'll have none of that. For those who make it, it's on the road again. Next up, the firewall. The corporate firewall serves two purposes. It prevents some rather nasty things from the internet from coming into the intranet, and it can also prevent sensitive corporate information from being sent out onto the internet. Once through the firewall, a router picks up the packet and places it onto a much narrower road, or bandwidth, as we say. Obviously, the road is not broad enough to take them all. Now, you might wonder what happens to all those packets which don't make it along the way. Well, when Mr. IP doesn't receive an acknowledgement that a packet has been received in due time, he simply sends a replacement packet. We are now ready to enter the world of the Internet. A spider web of interconnected networks which span our entire globe. Here, routers and switches establish links between networks. Now, the net is an entirely different environment than you'll find within the protected walls of your LAN. Out here, it's the Wild West. Plenty of space, plenty of opportunities, plenty of things to explore and places to go. Thanks to very little control and regulation, new ideas find fertile soil to push the envelope of their possibilities. But because of this freedom, certain dangers also lurk. You'll never know when you'll meet the dreaded ping of death. A special version of a normal request ping, which some idiot thought up to mess up unsuspecting hosts. The paths our packets take may be via satellite, telephone lines, wireless, or even transoceanic cable. They don't always take the fastest or shortest routes possible, but they will get there, eventually. Maybe that's why it's sometimes called the worldwide wait. But when everything is working smoothly, you can circumvent the globe 5 times over at the drop of a hat, literally, and all for the cost of a local call or less. Near the end of our destination, we'll find another firewall. Depending upon your perspective as a data packet, the firewall can be a bastion of security or a dreaded adversary. It all depends on which side you're on and what your intentions are. The firewall is designed to let in only those packets that meet its criteria. This firewall is operating on ports 80 and 25. All attempts to enter through other ports are closed for business. Port 25 is used for mail packets, while port 80 is the entrance for packets from the internet to the web server. Inside the firewall, packets are screened more thoroughly. Some packets make it easily through customs, while others look just a bit dubious. Now, the firewall officer is not easily fooled, such as when this ping of death packet tries to disguise itself as a normal ping packet.
It's okay, go on, it's okay, no problem. Have a nice day, be out here, bye.
For those packets lucky enough to make it this far, the journey is almost over. It's just a line up on the interface to be taken up into the web server. Nowadays, a web server can run on many things, from a mainframe to a webcam to the computer on your desk, or why not your refrigerator? With a proper setup, you can find out if you have the makings for chicken cacciatore or if you have to go shopping. Remember, this is the dawn of the net. Almost anything's possible. One by one, the packets are received, opened, and unpacked. The information they contain, that is, your request for information, is sent on to the web server application. The packet itself is recycled, ready to be used again, and filled with your requested information. Addressed and sent out on its way back to you. Back past the firewall, routers, and on through to the internet. Back through your corporate firewall, and onto your interface, ready to supply your web browser with the information you requested. That is, this film. Pleased with their efforts and trusting in a better world, our trusty data packets ride off blissfully into the sunset of another day, knowing fully they have served their masters well. Now, isn't that a happy ending?
How's the video?
This is in the chat.
Yeah. So what do you think about the video, by the way? Oh. Awesome, cool. So basically, this is what happens behind the scenes. When a particular link is clicked, it goes through so many different layers. So that's exactly the complete stack that happens when you encounter HTTP, then the TCP/IP. Have you heard of the 7 layers OSI protocol? This is exactly what happens. These are all theoretical. Now let's go for something practical. So the first thing is like, okay, so what happens is when the click has happened, there will be a request that will be sent from the client to the server, a web server that runs on a port 80, most probably, or 443 if it is a HTTPS. So it's actually an application that listens to a certain amount of input. So whenever we are using any kind of like let's say browser or something like that, it responds to the keyboard inputs and mouse inputs. Those are the user inputs. Whereas a web server is something that responds to a particular port input. It's called a request, and then it responds with a response. And then that application is actually the backend application, where you would be writing the code that can access the files, that can also run different applications, and also it would be able to work with databases, then send out responses to requests to other services, and then updates the UI. So this is what happens in the whole process. And there will be a lot of things called latency, failures, bugs. So this is not where people will casually look at, like there could be some problems, and this is one of the places where people will not look at it, and that's where the most of the issues might happen. So we have like tools like Wireshark or something like Lighthouse or developer tools, etc. Amazing. Thank you so much for the response. So all these things will actually get you a debugging information where you could probably find out, okay, this is what is happening and this is what has gone wrong, etc. So that's something that I would say, yeah, this is where things went wrong. And that's the debugging part. So we are all problem solvers. So we will be looking into how we can fix the bug, etc. And understanding these things will make the whole flow more than 10 times easier. So to be honest, most production issues live between the client and server, not inside the client code or inside the server code. So it's between this network is what happens. And then most probably you might have heard of the 3-tier architecture, right? Adrisha, do you have any idea about the N-tier and 3-tier architectures?
I will learn as well with others.
Okay, 3-tier web architecture. Let me try finding a small image of it. Okay, I think like we have got loads and loads of examples and images. So to give a quick idea, this is how a 3-tier architecture works. So you have basically a client, which is the presentation tier. Presentation is what you see, visual tier or presentation tier or UI side of things. Then there is a logic tier or an application logic or application tier. That's where the programming things happen, and it is the server. And then finally the data tier, the data side of things, where you will find multiple databases. So there are like a couple of databases that we are indeed working with. So what would be the common databases? Anyone can answer. The first person will get something cool, even if it is Adrisha answering on the call. One name. Tony, you said a presentation layer. Database servers, I meant. So what kind of database servers that you might come across? Something like that. AWS is not a database server, but nice. MySQL. So Anurag gets it. So MySQL is one of the most common databases that people use. And when it comes to MongoDB, yes, there are so many people who wants to go out of the relational databases, where there is this document database where there is not much, there is more freedom for data structure. So that would be MongoDB, which is a document-oriented database. And then we have SQLite. Yes, that is great. Tell me one place where SQLite is used very much. I mean, you're literally using it every single time, I would say. So Anurag says Oracle is more relevant. Yes, absolutely. They started the whole thing. And then MySQL is one of the flagship products of Sun Microsystems, but it was eventually bought by Oracle. But MySQL has been forked into MariaDB as well. That's also an amazing tool. SQLite is amazing in multiple ways. You are actually using SQLite without knowing that you are using SQLite. Any examples? We'll start with Adrisha. There is this database called as SQLite. You are using it in your almost everyday life, even right now, like every single moment where you might be using it. Don't look at the chat.
Good answer. Isn't it very common in mobile applications? Like mainly it's supposed
Oh yeah, it was you putting the question. Yes, that's right, Adrisha. Yeah. So almost all the mobile applications, whatever the history and other things, yes, you are right. And also, if you take, let's take example of your Chrome's download history, web history, also Mozilla Firefox download history, etc. All these download history and web history are all monitored using SQLite 3, because this is just a single text file and the driver is completely inside 2 KB of, like, the whole database server is inside a 2 KB script, as simple as that, and it can run anywhere, and it follows all these asset compliant thing as well. So that's actually super cool. Android apps, embedding systems, and also, like Adrisha said, mobile applications. I thought it was not Adrisha who actually put that. Actually, Adrisha is the one person who said the SQLite as well. Dude, to see great ho. Awesome. So yeah, so that's
forget I can unmute myself.
better. Yeah, exactly. That's what I said. I want you to be 60% of this call. Okay, so that's one of the things. So database wise, you have MySQL, Oracle. Oracle no one uses in the real-time things, like for students or for professionals who are working locally, small projects, etc. Oracle is not the one, but mostly people use MySQL, MariaDB, etc. And that's super cool. And logic-wise, there are like so many languages. How many languages are people? I mean, Adrisha, I know you are just working on front end, but well, I can ask you this question as well. So, what all the backend languages that you are heard of? How many people can say some backend languages? Because you also get something really cool. Thanks. Backend languages, anything?
Java itself, they're just saying whatever I'm about to say. Anyways.
Don't see and say it here.
There's Node.js, then I've heard of PHP, and there are a lot more actually. I've heard of, there's another JS, I can't remember the term.
TypeScript?
TypeScript, I think. Not TypeScript. TypeScript is...
It's a language. It's just a tool, I would say, in this point. So basically, yes, what people have said what you said, as well as what people have said in the comments, PHP is one of the common web backend systems at this point, because a lot of computers right now, the websites are based on LAMP stack, LAMP server. So how many of you know what's the full form of LAMP? Okay, and there are some people who are saying like React.js. No, React is not a thing. Yeah. React is definitely not a backend side. React has got some server side rendering components, but it is completely into client side. So Python, Node.js, PHP, and Java J2EE is one of the core things. And then we also have this thing called as Spring Boot. Those come up. There is this Ruby on Rails, Django from Python, and then Fast API from Python. All these things are backend servers. So all these things, they will be able to connect to a backend database. They will be able to talk to database. They will be able to write files, etc. So those kind of things are possible. So who can tell the full form of LAMP? Adrisha, even you can win it if you want to say, unmuting yourself. Oh, someone actually said that. Vikas, you win it. It's Linux, Apache, MySQL, and PHP. Yes, that's right. So there is also LAMP stack with 2 P's, which is Linux, Apache, MySQL, PHP, and Perl. I don't understand. I don't remember if anyone is using Perl in 2025 even. Now it is 2026. So it's fun. So these are a couple of things that are happening indeed at this point. And it would be so fun to know a lot of things on that area as well. One moment. Okay, cool. So what else do we have at this point? Okay, cool. So there are a couple of tools that are working with full stack development. So even though there are like so many tools that are changing, tools and frameworks, for example, we have VS Code, we have Sublime Text. We used to have Sublime Text back then. And then even before that, we had some people are still using Notepad++. I don't know why they will be having a special place in hell, but yeah, Notepad++, oh my God, crazy. That was from dinosaurs age. So dinosaurs used to use Notepad++. I don't know how many people are going to shout at me for this, but anyway, I'm fine. PHP 8 is really alive and kicking at this point of time. So it is completely fine to use PHP, but use it in the right way. That is what a lot of people will say. So recent times, I even met a couple of people like Rasmus Lerdoff and other people. So that was super cool too. So PHP is still alive. It is still very much alive. A lot of more than 50% of the websites are using WordPress, to be honest, in lab stack. So WordPress is powered by PHP. MediaWiki is powered by PHP. Is there anyone still using Facebook? I mean, the facebook.com. So facebook.com is still written in PHP. It is actually written in a language called Hack, which is actually Hip Hop Virtual Machine, HHVM, and that actually runs basically the PHP code. So to an extent, yes, if you don't want to learn PHP as a new language and go in full-fledged, because not many PHP jobs are available at this point, but still, I don't think no one is using Facebook right now. Cool. So these are a couple of things that I would say. And then we have like state management, caching, authentication, error handling, and performance. Performance-wise, we will be using something like Lighthouse and other stuff. So these are a couple of tools that are being used at this point of time. Lighthouse, why we are using it? Let's say there are like so many people who are using this bank application. We are talking about millions. So it should be really quick enough to show the web page and then show what exactly is happening. So that's one of the tools that we will be using. So coming to how you would be, so basically it's a mindset, not a traffic number. That's one thing that I would like to say. And coming to the learning of full stack the right way. So what common problems that people are currently approaching us? The first thing I would say, tutorial hopping. How many of you feel that? A lot of people like go into a tutorial and then keep on looking at, wait, most of the compilers are in assembly. Should we learn assembly? Exactly, but I understand your analogy. We don't want to learn PHP, but yes, you need to know PHP in case if you want to debug things. You don't need assembly language at least, right? So let's say if you are deploying a WordPress website or a MediaWiki website, Wikipedia is very much alive and kicking. It is powered by this application called MediaWiki. And MediaWiki is written entirely in PHP and it is open source. By the way, Adrisha, if you're actually talking, you're on mute. Okay, no. Okay, got it. Yeah. So most of the compilers are definitely, yes, they are written in assembly language. But even though most of the applications, the high-level languages are written in JavaScript or C++. Like for example, Node.js is written completely in C++. Bun is written in Zig, while Zig is written in C++, which is crazy. But you don't need to know the C++ because they are so hard, so strong. You don't even need to go to that level. This is super cool. Roadmaps of these things. Hey, by the way, roadmap.sh. This is one of the best sites I have heard. I have seen. They're really good with developer roadmaps so that you can actually go ahead, follow something and do something really nice. That's a best way to learn. They don't provide any tutorials, but they provide what all things that you should be knowing in terms of mastering one particular tool or something like that. So they are really good in that case. So roadmap.sh is great. And also there is something called as Free Code Camp. They have like literally boot camps and structured learning programs, which are completely available for free on YouTube. And they are completely it's premium. The courses are premium. It was created by people who are like really, really good and in the industry, and they have like super experience and etc. So what could be the best approach in learning things? So learn one front end, one back end, and then connect them deeply. For example, I am a JavaScript guy. So I would be learning the basics of front end. Obviously, it is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And then I want to learn one of the libraries or frameworks. So I'll choose a library, React library, because React is my girlfriend. And then I'll learn these things first. Once I'm really, really good with it, even when I'm working with React on APIs, which is the backend side of things, I will be using something like a hosted API. For example, GitHub's API. So those things are really, really good. So that is a good way of starting with things. And then we will work on what other things that we can learn or something like that. Since I am in the UK, I'm currently in London. I have never heard of DSA in the past 15 years of 270 plus interviews I had. So out of those 270 interviews, only 2 companies asked me for a DSA. And all these 270 interviews are like starting with 75 lakhs up to 1.5 crores. Guess what are those 2 companies? Adrisha, if you guess them, I'm going to give you like 100 rupees right away. We can't hear you. Talk again. Kind of. Speak. You could have actually messaged in the chat, but come on, talk. I think we are not able to hear you because the first few seconds we won't hear you. Talk something and then talk.
I see a lot of answers in the chat.
But what would be, you know me better. So what would be the 2 companies that asked me for those DSAs?
To be very honest, I think one would be Google, and I don't have any idea about the other company.
Well, you're wrong, Adrisha. So it was Facebook, because I thought you might know that I was interviewed by Facebook for working in the React team, right? And then Google, I did not go. I go there for all the food. They have amazing food as well. What is the other company? It's definitely not Microsoft as well. They just gave me, actually, to be honest, Microsoft did not ask me for a DSA. I got the interview like 3 months ago, and they did not ask me for DSA in London, Paddington at least. The other company was Amazon. That was actually a principal front-end engineer. They asked me for DSA. I don't understand where DSA comes in for front-end engineer. If they even ask me like a CSS war, which is extremely tough these days, I would say yes. Okay, fine. I'm happy with this whole thing. And Amazon, you live or something like that. But unfortunately, it is not that. Okay, cool. So coming to the final part, you can just go ahead as if you are a full stack developer. When a company looks at you and interviews you and then picks you in, they won't necessarily make you a full stack developer during the work timings. I'm not sure how it is happening in India at this point, but in the UK and the US and all the other countries, if you are taken in as a full stack developer, the only difference between a front end or a back end developer and a full stack developer is the salary. So front end developers will get like what, let's say 50 lakhs per annum. And then back end developers maybe 70 lakhs per annum. Full stack developers will get 85 lakhs per annum for no reason. And once these 3 people are selected, let's say they're selecting Praveen as front-end developer, Adrisha as a full-stack developer, and Sarthak as a back-end developer. So you all get the same salary, whatever the salary I said just now, right? So Adrisha getting 85 lakhs per annum, loves front-end, and she will be doing the same work as what I do, while I get 50 lakhs and Adrisha gets 85 lakhs. That's the truth. So whenever you are going in, but your expertise will be very much helpful and valuable when, like, I wouldn't have much responsibilities as well. You might have responsibilities like talking to the backend team, getting something done, etc. But you would be working only on pure front end. So another thing is, while coming to the recruiters and recruitment, people really look for reasoning, communication, and debugging ability. When you are in an interview, they look at not the outcome of your application. Like they will give you a, let's say, take-home test, or let's say they are asking you to work on some application or something like that. they won't really look at what exactly are you able to complete it or something like that, but they will be looking at how you are planning to solve it. What is the thought process that is going into your mind, and then you're doing something or something like that. So that's something that they will be really looking at. And finally, the debugging ability. They might give you some kind of like couple of already created programs or something like that, and then they will ask you to like try to fix the issue, whatever the issue is. So you need to trace back how the whole process is going on and something like that. So basically, start small, but start with end to end. That is something that I would say. Anyone can build an app. Full stack engineers build systems that survive change. That is something that I would say for everyone. And apart from these things, okay, I'm open to the questions. How do you monitor and debug production issues? Well, first thing is, how do I get any issues that will happen, like if there is any issue that is detected? How many of you have heard of continuous integration and continuous delivery pipelines? CI/CD pipelines. So there is a CI/CD pipeline called Travis CI, Jenkins CI, Circle CI, and then Azure development pipelines, Azure CI/CD pipelines. So there are like so many things. GitHub has got its own GitHub Actions. So basically what happens is, whenever, okay, let's say we have a front-end application, it's using React.js and TypeScript, let's say. And then myself and Adrisha are the front-end engineers who work on it. So whenever Adrisha puts up code and then does, you know, the usual process, right? So you'll commit all the code and then push the code to the master branch, or like you create a pull request basically. So when the pull request is created, at that point of time, you would be getting a CI/CD pipeline to run. So basically, whatever the pull request has been created, it gets merged into the master in a different environment, and then it will be tested. So how they are going to test, there will be two types of testing happens. One is unit testing and one is integration testing. How many of you have heard of unit testing, end-to-end testing, and integration testing? So unit testing, you might all, if you have heard of them, you might be seeing like describe, test, something like it does something, and then you do some expect, stuff like that. So basically what happens is, let's say you have a website and the website has a H1 tag which has hello IIITK, something like that. So you would be, the testing file will have expect the document.get element by ID H1, the first element, to have a text of hello IIITK, something like that, to be true, something like that. So that would be a test, unit test scenario. And then those are the tests that make sure that the particular component that you are writing functions properly. Then you have integration testing. For example, you don't know what exactly a server can send you during the transit. Like something like, for example, you can open it using a mobile 3G network, mobile 2G network, or a fast broadband network. So everything should be calculated. For example, sometimes the fast network might have some issues. For a computer that is super fast and there is a super fast internet connection as well, there could be a problem, because this particular application might be waiting for 2 seconds and then getting the response. It might be looking for a response after 2 seconds. That might fail. So there are sometimes the best solutions, best ideal environment will also fail, and sometimes worst ideal environments. For example, there is a disconnection, network is disconnected, but you are clicking after the network is disconnected. How will the browser respond? What if that particular server is down? Like you have the internet connection working, but for some reason the server is not working. What if the server is working, internet is working, everything works, but there is an error in the server side thing? For example, we have Anurag, who was interviewed as a backend developer. He made a mistake and then it went to the production. And Adrisha looked at everything, she signed off, and everyone's code is deployed. Now, someone is clicking on this particular link, or in simple terms, Anurag's backend work is old one, and mine is a new one that gets deployed. So an old version and new version gets deployed. And then when you click on it, it would be looking for a particular endpoint, but it is not there. particular function, it is not there. It is not yet deployed. It is in Anurag's local, not in the production server. In that case, how will it handle? So all these kind of things will be caught in the integration testing and end-to-end testing. All these things will be run in one particular container, and that container is the CI/CD pipeline. And then once everything passes, it gets merged into the main and then gets deployed into the production server. This is the whole process of how an end-to-end thing works. So I hope this was a bit high, but still hope it was clear. I can show a demo maybe later. Hey, how many of you want a part 2? I mean, I wanted to show that particular thing, but we are out of time now. So how many of you want a part 2 in this thing? Okay, there is one person who wants a part 2. We have Baidantika as well. Adrisha as well. Yay, Vikas. Okay, I think most of you want a part 2. That's great. So let's do a social media challenge. And in the meantime, I'm just going to say everyone to like, share, subscribe to this. And I'm going to switch off the live stream that's going on the other side. So Adrisha, just say bye here, and then we'll close the live stream, and then we'll do the social media challenge here. Bye, everyone.